AP Environmental students. In today's screencast, we're going to continue to look at Chapter 6, which is the human population and its impact. All of today's notes are based off of Living in the Environment, the 16th edition by Miller and Spoolman. The focus of Chapter 6, Section 3 are age structure diagrams. Specifically, how does a population's age structure affect its growth or decline? The numbers of males and females in young, middle, and older age groups determine how fast a population grows or declines. So what is an age structure diagram? Age structure itself is the distribution of males and females among age groups in a population. An age structure diagram is just a diagram that plots percentages or numbers of males and females in each age structure category. So the structure categories are pre-reproductive, which are ages 0 to 14, reproductive, which are 15 to 44, and post-reproductive, which is 45 or older. This diagram shows different types of age structure diagrams. We have populations like this guy right here that are expanding rapidly. So countries like Guatemala, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia. You'll notice most of these countries are developing countries. Expanding slowly are US, Australia, and China. Stable are Japan, Italy, and Greece. And then declining, we've got things like Germany, Bulgaria, and Russia. So the reasons why these are growing or stable or declining is because if we look here on our rapidly expanding, our pre-reproductive ages are bigger than our reproductive and post-reproductive age categories. What that means is that by the time they get to these reproductive years, there's going to be more people having more kids, and your expanding population is just going to keep growing outwards. Same is true for the expanding slowly. Stable, we've got about the same amount of babies being born to the same amount of reproductive aged adults, so the population will stay fairly steady. We're going to have about the same amount of kids as we do adults right now. And then declining is you'll see that your reproductive aged adults are having fewer children, so it gets smaller. So once this age of pre-reproductive individuals reaches adulthood and those reproductive years, there'll be fewer of them to have fewer amounts of children. Also, like I said, most of the time when we look at developed or developing countries are usually going to have that rapidly expanding population, the very severe pyramid shape, where developed countries are more likely to be those declining or stable countries. So again, large pre-reproductive group, larger on the bottom, will signify a future increase in population, whereas large post-reproductive group will signify larger need for retirement resources. So an example here is our baby boomers. We had a big increase in about 1955 of young individuals that when they hit the 1980s, 1985s, they had a bunch of kids, and now-ish they're reaching that 50 to 60 age group, and soon they'll be reaching the 70 to 80 plus. What that means is that America and its population is graying. We're going to have a higher percentage of older individuals in America. And that's going to increase our need for retirement resources. You hear a lot on the news about pensions because they're concerned about being able to pay for this huge number of baby boomers when they reach that post-reproductive or those elderly ages where retirement is an issue. So, when we talk about populations with older people, populations that are mostly older people can decline rapidly. Slow declines are manageable, but rapid declines cause a lot of economic and social issues. So some of those problems are it can threaten economic growth, labor shortages because it relies more heavily on automation and foreign workers, less government revenues with fewer workers, less entrepreneurship and new business formation, less likelihood for new technology to be developed, increase in public deficits to fund higher pension and health care costs, like I talked about on the last slide, and pensions might be cut and retirement age might be increased. So AIDS has been a large reason for a lot of decline and rising death rate. AIDS removes a significant number of young adults from countries in their age structure. So worldwide, 25 million were killed by AIDS in 2008. That's a lot. And because many young adults die, it leads to a loss of productive workers and a sharp drop in overall life expectancy. International communities have been called upon to reduce the spread of HIV through education and healthcare, and to provide financial assistance, education and healthcare, and social workers and volunteers to help compensate for missing young adult generations. So to increase those workers and make sure they don't have shortages in certain countries.